Hey, Elissa, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me on. And this whole experience with this site has just been amazing. I mean, but I have another life as a longtime editor at Harper and at Random House and Clarkson Potter and Rodale, and to be able to put that hat back on and work with your amazing team and work with your incredible authors. I mean, it's like it's just a wealth, a wealth of creativity. And I think I said earlier this morning that the late and wonderful poet Jane Kenyon had a line where she said, keep good sentences in your ears. And I think, we're all seeing, this incredible, reading sort of, it's like everybody's reading right now, whatever they're reading, but everybody's reading, everybody's cooking, which, that's for me is like a fabulous thing. And all I can think of is like keeps good sentences in your ears, and that will help ground all of us, So thank you for the work that you're doing and the amazing team. And
Well, thank you. I mean, your edits, it's so funny. We were getting in all these essays and going back and forth, and you would send essays back, edits back to all the authors. And then when you sent your essay to Claire and me, we were like, okay, no edits. Like,
no, every author needs to be edited. Every editor who's also an author needs to be edited. So
you did not need to be edited. We did not have a single comma. Nothing had to be changed. Your writing is so great, and I love your essay. It's tell the name of the perfect first draft, exactly. Your essay about feeding your mother. It's in our food section, which it has to be because you are the consummate, food writer and editor and everything else.
It's been a little bit crazy because, I wrote Motherland. I started it in 2016, and it came out in August of 2019, just about to come out in paperback in this fall. And the story was about how I had to literally break up with my mother. We had this crazy codependent relationship. My mother is this complete sort of New York City glam queen, former model, former television singer. I'm not. I'm a food writer. My mother hates food. I write about food. We are absolutely antithetical, our ways of living, our outlooks. And so I had to break up with her in order to start my own life. And that happened 20 years ago. And I moved to Connecticut, and then in 2016, she had this catastrophic fall, and I had to make the decision that a lot of people, mostly women, have to make about bringing their mothers back into their lives or going back into their lives and being their caregiver and seeing them through, a horrific time of their lives, and literally getting them back on their feet. And that was my goal, was to get my mother back on her feet, and in her apartment in New York City, and keep her independence and keep her in another state, quite frankly, in her apartment away from my house in Connecticut. And so, of course, this happens with, this horrific situation that we find ourselves in. And my mother put it off and put it off. She was like, I'm not leaving. I'm not coming back. I'm not leaving the city. And then finally one day she called and she was like, how quickly can you come get me? And, my partner and I looked at each other and we were like, oh God, it's actually happening. And of course, she's 84 and she is like a non-compliant nightmare. And, just the side of like licking the elevator buttons in her building, and so we went and we got her and we brought her home. And then it became an issue of feeding her, because my mother doesn't eat. My mother is body dysmorphic, has all crazy, terrible relationship with food. Not crazy, just terrible relationship with food. And that was really what became the core of, of the essay, which was like, I take comfort in food. I take comfort in cooking. I take comfort in feeding the people I love, the people around me. And my mother was like, yeah, no, no. So my mother we discovered, was existing on like 600 calories a day, most of which was made of cupcakes. And I had to call her doctor and say, what do I do? You know, and I'm not going to give away the punchline of the, you know, the end line of the essay, but it's been, and we're on week 3 now, and my mother and I have not lived under the same roof since Ronald Reagan was in office. That's a long time ago.
Oh my gosh. I mean, if nothing else, it will give you a lot of really interesting material to write about afterwards. Well, I really love that yours was one of the first essays, not just because it's one of my favorites, but also because it shows that we are all caretakers. I mean, the site is not supposed to be just for moms with kids. It's about taking care of anybody, and you are parenting your mother. I mean, that's what's going on, full stop. And so I feel like these essays are supposed to be for anybody who's helping with the caretaking in any way. And we all have the same feelings about it. And that's what unites the whole, everybody and the whole sort of enterprise.
Yeah, you know, I felt as I've had these amazing essays come in, and as I've been editing them, you know, I'm not a mom, but I am mothering my mom, and that has been my experience for most of my life. And you know, we have animals, and then we've got my mom, you know. And as I was reading the essays, what was really clear to me was how incredibly universal they are. And these are experiences that are being written about with such clarity and transparency and power, but they are universal. And you know, you don't have to be a mom. And I mean, certainly John Kenny's not a mom. But John, you know, John Claire mentioned in the last segment about John's series that he's doing right now, and it is incredible. It is just incredible. And you know, the thing that I'm seeing really, you know, more than anything else right now is how the level of creativity that is coming out of this. You know, we are the creative species. We are the makers. And that is coming out now more than, I think, than ever before. And so, you know, to read all of these other essays and you know, read about Claire's experience, you know, something that, well, we don't really think about it, and it's like, oh my gosh, yeah, of course, this is, yeah, you know, and reading your amazing essay about running, and what is that, you know, what does that translate to, run and wanting to run now, and having to expel this energy in order to literally put one foot in front of the next, and wake up every morning and do it all over again, for an infinite, you know, hopefully not infinite, but it feels infinite.
Infinite, don't say that.
Infinite. It feels infinite. You know, it feels, we don't have an end. And people like us who, you know, we work with schedules and pub schedules, and we all, everybody has, you know, a pub date, an end date, a delivery date, you know. We don't have that right now, and that's feels antithetical to the American mindset. You know, we're very sort of, this is what we even create. You know, creatives are like that. So it's been interesting, but working on this on this site and being a part of your team has been a godsend for me. It's been really wonderful, and writing for it has been an honor. And it's, you know, I'm just very grateful to everybody involved. So,
well, we are all collectively so grateful for you, especially me. So thank you, Elissa. Thank you for everything you've done and will continue to do, and all the rest. So thank you. So everybody go to We Found Time and read Elissa's essay today. It is so good and moving. And my kids and I, by the way, baked those cupcakes just so I could take a picture of them to accompany the article. And they were terrible, but whatever. So anyway, thank you, Elissa.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks. I can't wait to work more with you.
Thank you. Sure.